What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You already know what time it is. This is your boy, the historian in the building. We getting ready to get this thing started. So before we do that, go ahead and hit that like and that subscribe button for us. We got a fun-filled show for you guys tonight. And also, we're going to have a little fan involvement. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. We'll be right back.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
What's going on? You already know how we get down. You either get right or you get left. And since you're tuned in, you definitely are getting right and not getting left. So before we get ahead and get started on this thing, I got to bring my man K-Dub into the building, man. Tough week last week. We got to get through it. It's a bye week for everybody to rest, get their emotions in check, from us to the players, man. What's happening with you this week, bro?
It's good to be in the building tonight. I mean, on a somber note, I'm praying that my team is circling the wagons and doing some soul searching right now. I mean, from top to bottom, as the coaching staff, all the way down to the training and the equipment staff. I mean, everybody needs to look themselves in the mirror and do a chin check. I mean, like if we want to go where we want to go, we have to do some things different than we've been doing the last few weeks. So, other than that, man, I'm just happy to be in the building with you, historian. We're ready to chop it up in this bye week, and let's see what we can get into right now tonight.
Man, we're gonna open it up for fans a little later on this evening or whatnot, since it's a bye week. Just hear
Yeah.
what they want to hear, what they want, hear what they're gonna talk about, because we're not gonna have a pregame show on Sunday, or like I said, we're not gonna have a show period on Sunday. Everybody get the day off. As the Lord, as it was intended originally, as the Lord would say, the seventh day is my day of rest.
Yeah, man.
Hey
I
man,
mean,
gotta call a spade a spade.
yeah, but the way we were playing, I think the fans need a rest also. Just continue to like let our blood pressure get some rest also because it's so up and down with the Falcons. So I think that'll help with our health wise, our mental health for a week, and just get to sit back and watch other teams. And hopefully, if you don't bet, if you're not a gambler, then you won't be so stressed out with other teams playing. That's why I had to stop betting years ago because it was detrimental to my health. Watching other teams play and you have to pay out the money. So it helped me. So I don't know, maybe it can help others out there.
Man, but before we get started, I gotta give a shout out to my boys, those SU Jaguars, baby, the SWAC West champions. I told Arnold Walker when he came on here, one of our BirdCage alum, who is an Alcorn State running back, one of their greatest in their history, who did a show for us. Brother, I told you we was gonna get the SWAC this year. I told you we was gonna get the West. Now we gunning to go ahead and knock out Jackson State to win all of the SWAC so they can be in the Celebration Bowl, aka the HBCU National Championship game. So shout out to those boys. They took it last weekend, and shout out to those Georgia Bulldogs for fighting and keeping their playoff hopes alive to try to get a national championship as well. So that's how we gonna get to it. But let's go ahead and talk about these birds, man. First thing that we're gonna talk about tonight in the cage, we can actually get 2 players back pretty much after the bye week. You got DeMarco Hellams and Ruka Roro, who actually could possibly come back and bring a boost to this team. Much needed, because if you notice when Rook was in there, he definitely was able to do some things, as well as DeMarco Hellams. We know what he brings to the table. And Richie Grant would probably have a seat on the bench if this dude was already starting, but he ended up getting hurt. And hey, we had to play with what we had to play with. But now we have a chance to have these guys back. What type of impact are you looking to see from these 2 key contributors when they come back, or if they come back next week against the Chargers?
Well, I mean, I assume that they're going to provide depth that we need. I think it's going to take them a couple of weeks to get back into the swing of things, but I do believe that they're going to be add depth to what we have right now. It's going to always be a positive, but I think they really won't be able to help us until they get their footing to maybe closer to the playoff time. So I think there'll be a boost to our defense, but not initially, not when they first come back to the field. But I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong. I hope they can make an immediate impact, but I think it'll take some time to get into the flow of things and work themselves back into where the season and where the team is right now from when they did go down with injury. But I wish nothing but positive on it. But I'm just trying to put a realistic spin on it instead of just what I want to happen. Kind of situation. That's what I think about it, though.
Simmons isn't washed up. We said this last week. Simmons is still learning the playbook. And again, it ain't all on him, man. He is not washed up. If you think he's washed up, you out of your rabbit ass mind.
Yeah, I'm
just saying. At this point in the game, you got to realize that you brought a guy in before the season started, literally right when the season was starting. So what do you expect to get out of a guy like that? But the key thing, like that, if he doesn't know what he's doing.
But the key thing with Justin Simmons is he's just upset that we lost. I'm upset that we lost, but you just can't seem to just point all these fingers. The guy's been dealing with injuries and he's learning the playbook. He's been dealing with injuries the last few weeks. He's been playing through injuries the last few weeks, and that's why he's played like crap a little bit. But the key thing is when your boy Hellams come back, I know you're rooting for Hellams. I know I can feel it through the screen. He still has to get back up to speed.
Exactly.
Because his body's coming back from an injury. So the key thing is don't be so amped up and ready because he's still kind of got to work himself back. He may not be up until the Hellams that you know until like maybe the first round of the playoffs or something. So you may not see the best of Hellams till later on, which will help us, but not initially. So just don't poo-poo the guys that we brought in. Still get behind the guys, but we definitely are in a must-win situation the next few games. I just really feel like we need to go on a run. We're on a run of losses, then we need to go on a run of wins. So we need to get that going.
Well, here's the other thing. He's got to get into football shape. With you being out for that long for pretty much, you might as well say, 11 weeks of the season or whatnot, you having a bye week and you running on a treadmill isn't going to get you back in football shape. You actually have to get conditioned to be able to hit. You have to be able to move. And he's got to also have mental strength or whatnot when you talk about being able to come off that injury. Because coming off that injury that he has or whatnot, talking about a lower limb injury, that's where he makes his money. That's where the backpedaling, that's where the cutting comes in at. That's where you get your power at when he comes off to pretty much be the hit stick that we know. If he doesn't have confidence in that leg or whatnot, it's really going to be useless. So at this point, we got to let him get back into the swing of things, get him in on special teams, let him get comfortable, and let him get in a position to where he can make plays. That's the main thing that you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, man, you got to get behind the guys that we have because the trade deadline has passed. I don't really see us getting the guys off the couch.
Wait a minute. You say, so William, so you're saying that you understand that, but you have to learn how to play safe. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link for you. I'm gonna let you come in and you can chop it up with us today. I got you, fam. But while we're bringing that in, because we are gonna have fan involvement tonight. But I definitely want to hear that because I can tell you right now from being a former safety, what you just said does not make sense. So please come in here and explain that to me, please, because I can tell you up front that trying to learn the side adjustments, trying to learn everything else is something that is major when you talk about being a safety, because guess what? You're an extension of that linebacker that's in front of you. You have to know what everybody is doing. You have to know which adjustments are going to be made. It's a lot of things that comes with being a free safety and a strong safety, because again, you're the last line of defense. So if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to give up points, unfortunately. And that's just what it is, because you don't go from being a 4-time Pro Bowler to being a bum right off the bat. So again, when you get in here, once you get your screen up, we'll definitely chop it up on that. But while we're waiting for Will to get in here, any other fans that want to come in, you can. I just dropped the link or whatnot. Y'all can chop it up with us too. So again, we'll talk about Raheem's press conference, but I want to talk this safety spot with Will. Will, you coming in? I see you popping in and out on the screen, buddy. I was just trying to get you back up in here. Mr. FMLA himself, what's up?
You on mute?
You on mute, bro? His screen froze. StreamYard is doing StreamYard things. I got to bring them back up. But there we go. What's up, boy? You still on mute. We can't hear you.
You on mute?
You still on mute. We'll try to bring you back in, man. You on mute still. Unmute yourself.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Perfectly.
Man, I had my headphones in, but I ain't gonna be that long though, man. I'm gonna let some people come on there. I just be talking jive, man. But you know, I just hope, man, we change up a little bit, man, on basically our linebackers.
Okay.
Well, we ain't talking about the linebackers. We talking about that comment you made about Justin Simmons. No, we ain't talking about the linebackers. We're gonna address what you talked about Justin Simmons. His screen went out again.
Hey, Will,
man. Will, we still can't hear you. You got your headphones plugged up, man. Come on. Well, we'll bring you back a little bit later. We'll bring you back a little bit later. I'm not gonna forget about that. That's gonna be something that, like I said, we address, because that's something we got to talk about. Now, I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We're actually gonna have a session where we dropped the link already. We want fans to come in and talk about what they like, what they dislike, or whatnot. This is a bi-week show, so we have a couple of topics, but we really want to hear from you guys tonight as well. So we definitely can talk about this, because we're not going to have a party line of benediction on Sunday. So this will be your time to chop it up with us. It's been a while since we've done a regular show like this.
Yeah, come in and say your soliloquies. I mean, I understand the people are still a little bit hot, a little bit heated around the collar, but I mean, let's fill the show up with some banter and some dialogue. So, I mean, go ahead.
The next topic we got is Raheem Morris's press conference. It brings no changes. I'm gonna pop out and pop back in, but I'll say this. So Raheem brings no changes and definitely says Jimmy Lake is still gonna be the guy controlling this defense. So give me a sec. I'm gonna pop back in real quick. Go ahead, K-Dub. What do you think about this whole situation altogether when no changes are gonna be made?
Well, I mean, listeners out there, I mean, I really feel that that Raheem's being a tad bit of a fool. I mean, I'm a Raheem supporter, but right now I don't support this decision. I really don't. I really thought that he would take over this defense. I didn't think he would fire his homeboy, his best buddy, but I thought that he would say, "Look here, man, get out the way. I got to take over this defense because we both don't want to get fired." So, but he didn't make that move. He stayed stern. He stayed 10 toes down. That we're good, even though I don't feel like we're good, but he feels like we're good. So I guess he putting himself out there on the line. And like I say, he doesn't. With you being of color, you don't have a long leash. You have a short leash, and And I mean, if you're gonna lay in that bed, I mean, you're gonna lay in that bed. But I don't support that decision. I feel like he should have took this defense over. If you're gonna call yourself a defensive mind, go ahead and take over this defense and get it back straightened out and work out the kinks that we have and the deficiencies that we have on defense and get it to playing up at a better snuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best way that you can really, that's the best way that you can really look at it. And when you talk about it, man, it's just one of these things that Raheem is a guy that's pretty much, how can I put it? He's one of these guys that has a bit of a narcissist type of take when he does his press conferences. That's the best way I can describe it. You don't want to atone for anything that's gone wrong. You don't want to say that we have problems. You don't. That is starting to become a serious issue. What's up, Carlos? It's becoming a serious issue when you talk about how the Falcons are. The thing is, the problem with our fan base and as well as our management from top to bottom is no one has any damn accountability, period. No one has any accountability, and you're seeing that. And when you have your leader not taking accountability for the deficiencies that are here and the things that have gone wrong, that's a problem. That's a problem. You see Terry Fontenot not saying anything because he didn't make any moves in pretty much at the trade deadline. Everyone's like, oh, well, we got to ride with what we got. No, here's my thing. You don't know what next season holds.
Yeah.
Every season is different.
Yeah.
Every season is different.
Yeah, Terry did. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I was just saying, every season is different. And Terry gave him stuff. Terry gave him pieces. The problem is he hasn't capitalized on using those pieces, and then he didn't try to make any moves to try to help improve this team. Difference between a novice and a winning coach. A winning coach is always making moves. Right now, we're not. I'm sorry. I love Raheem, but he got to catch. He got it. Like I said, he's got to catch whatever truth comes out from the fan base at this point, because I'm not going to be one of these fans that's going to coddle him. I'm going to call a spade a spade.
No, he deserves all the smoke right now. He deserves all this smoke because ain't no more. Then all of a sudden at this press conference, he took off his hat. He want to look all serious. You should have been serious, man, because we've been saying that you need a pass rush. I don't know why y'all keep dancing around. You don't need a pass rush to get to this quarterback. I don't understand what y'all seeing that we don't see. Because these guys that y'all draft, I think that's what it is. You don't want to admit that the guys that you drafted ain't it. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it is. I think it's the ego that, man, I just want this guy to hit. I just want this guy. They're not gonna hit. They may develop, on another team after we trade them. They have a good season somewhere, but initially, when you draft them into the league in the first, second, third round, whenever you take these guys, they're not panning out. They're just not. They're not. So what you're gonna have to do is, I've been saying this for the longest, we just don't draft defensive players well. So we get defensive players through free agency or acquisition like that, or through trade. That's just the Falcons. For some reason, we draft offensive players well. I don't know why, but we just don't draft defensive players well. So I pray that we get it right this particular offseason and draft some guys that hit, and we hit on a bona fide Hall of Famer, a Pro Bowler, perennial Pro Bowler. But guess what? We may have to make some deals in the offseason to go trade for a guy that's already proven. I pray that we don't go that route because I want to develop a guy, but I'm just going with the history of the Falcons.
Yeah. And when you talk about the history of the Falcons and whatnot, the Falcons have let's be real. When's the last time we've really hit in the first round of defensive players? Honestly.
It's been a while.
I mean, hey, we've had them. I give you a few off the bat. You had Prime as one. Claude Humphrey back in the day, Tommy Nobis, the first Falcon ever drafted. I mean, the list goes on, but you got to go back old school because at that time we had a defensive coordinator that really understood defensive personnel. At that time, we couldn't hit on offensive personnel. And the sad part about it is the scouting department is still failing miserably when it comes to looking at talent and bringing guys in.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. And the toughest thing at this point is really watching. Here's the toughest thing. At this point, watching the Falcons right now piss away a season that could possibly be a special season right now and I know it's in the middle. We still got games to play, but watching them piss this away is one of the saddest things because it's like, yo, you got a weak division. You have a guaranteed path to the postseason. Guaranteed path. You can right all your wrongs and start getting this momentum going because if you get to the playoffs, you win a game. You might lose. You never know. You might get one win out of this. But all it's going to do is continue to attract people to come to the city because anytime guys see that y'all are building something to win, everybody wants to be a part of a winner if they're not starting out building it. Everybody going to look like, man, I need to go to Atlanta. We know we got a lot of things we could do in this city, but the thing is, when you win, the city ride with you when you play hard and you win. But the one thing I hate about the fan base is when we get like this, you see division in the fan base, outside of division in the fan base, you see the fair weather fans come out. They tuck their Falcon stuff and they'll pull out another squad they was rooting for before they put on the Falcon gear. So again, it's a lot of things that come from this. So Raheem got to catch that. He definitely has got to catch that. But there are 3 dramatic changes that's got to be done in order for these Falcons to make this. I don't believe Raheem Morris is going to do this, but these are 3 things that could possibly help us in the long run. Bench Caleb McGarry for Storm Norton for number 1. I'm going to get your opinion on these once I put them out. Number 2, fire Jimmy Lake and let Raheem Morris take over the defensive play caller. We know that's not going to happen, but this is just something that could possibly help the team get a little bit better. Last, you move Caden Ellis to outside linebacker, and then you start Zach Harrison on that defensive line at that edge spot. Those are 3 things that you could actually do to bring some consistency and also bring winning to this team. How do you feel about that, K-Dub?
Well, I like the last 2. I mean, I think McGarry has been playing a little bit better than he did early in the season. I mean, he's not going to be played by like a Pro Bowler by any stretch of the means, but the last 2, I'm for those moves, but I don't really see him firing his homeboy. I'm just saying, just move his homeboy to like a different role, analyst or something. I'm taking over this defense, and we'll get it figured out. But Caden Ellis and bringing in, I just feel like you got to tinker with this defense. Some of these guys may be playing out of position. You got these guys under contract. He has to really sit down. I understand he's a head coach, but just like Sean Payton was out there, he was dialed in, calling them plays on us, man. Get over there and take it over. I know you don't want to. I know you don't want to micromanage, but this is a situation where your ass got to micromanage. You're going to have to do it because guess what? Whatever they playing, it ain't working. It is not working. Whatever they just playing off the ball, bend but don't break, it works against certain teams, but certain teams could eat that up. So the key thing is we need to be playing a different set, different fronts. If we need to go to more 4-3, that's what we need to do. We need to cross our T's and dot our I's and go in there and be as sharp as we can with our evaluation of what we're doing and continue to do better. Because
we got to stop playing and prevent defense too. That's something else we got to stop doing.
But that's something that he has to see. We see that as fans, but he has to look at that film and say, you know what? Self-evaluation. It worked in LA, but guess what? You know what? I don't have the personnel to do that here. You know what? I got to be doing something different. I have to mold it like clay and do something. I have to adjust to the situation I have here in Atlanta instead of what I think I have, what I had in LA at SoFi. I'm not at SoFi. I'm at the Beans. So it's like he has to have an epiphany. Right now, he's still, like you said, he's still full of himself. He came out and we have a winning record still. We're still third or fourth in the NFC. So it's like he hasn't had that crashing down moment. We have as fans because we were on a cloud nine when we were winning and on a little winning streak, a little small winning streak. But now we're crashing down, but he don't seem to be crashing down. But I think he's starting to get it with that last press conference because I really wanted to see his reaction to his emotion. And he took off the hat, wiping his waves and looking depressed a little bit. So we'll see.
The crash down moment should have been the fact that you lost to a 2-7 Saints team that you were supposed to sweep. That should have been a crash out. That should have been a crash down moment for you because.
But apparently, what?
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's sad that it wasn't, and it took for Denver to sit there and just pretty much give you, as we would say, it was ugly, and it was more of grandmama getting out. It's pretty much you getting out the bathtub, grandma pulling out that belt or that switch type ugly. That's the type of ass whooping you took last week. So when you talk about it, hey, if anybody ever gotten beat getting out the tub, that was what it was like watching the Falcons last week. You watched them get beat getting out the tub. Pretty much wet and everything, taking the strap. But what's going on? But outside of that, I mean, the thing is this: Raheem Morris is so stubborn about Jimmy Lake's play calling because this is his boy. And the Falcons ranked 25th. We went from being a top 10 defense at the beginning of the season to now you're 25th league wide. And you know, when it comes to your number 26 in scoring, and then your number 30 in opponents' drives ending in scores of third down conversions, and you're last in sacks. That is a serious problem. That is a serious problem because now you're deficient. Yeah. You're very deficient at this point. And when you talk about a defense with no identity and you have no true, and let's be real, we, as much as I love Jesse Bates, he's supposed to be the leader of this defense. Right now, he can't even be the leader of the defense because he's been playing inconsistent with a lot of stuff too. So again, and I'm not even, and here's my thing, it's a lot of blame to go around. It is a lot of blame to go around. But there's a lot of things that we can say about the defense when we've been in situations so far this season. They might not be the best, but they've created turnovers and stops that has given the offense chances to win ball games and take over a game. But our offense also has not contributed in garnering points off of turnovers. And that is a serious issue as well. So when you look at it, everybody is dragging ass right now. That's the best way to put it. Everybody is dragging. So, I'm going back to my military days when I say that, hey, man, y'all dragging ass, dragging boots. Pick it up. Let's go. Yeah. At this point, you can't hang your head. You're still at the top of the division right now, but there needs to be some drastic changes in order to sustain whatever we have. I can't even call it momentum. I'm just going to say whatever we have going this season to finish this thing out and at least get into the playoffs. That's all I'm looking for at this point. And the sad part about it is we talked about the offense. I mean, we're talking about the defense. Let's just put it this way. I'm quoting what Raheem Morris has said in his press conference. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up for you guys to see. It's not the actual press conference. It's a reading for that. So this is what we have right now concerning Raheem Morris. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up for y'all. If you want to check the article, it's on Sports Illustrated, MSN. This is what he said. There's no major thing going on. I've got no breaking news for you that anybody's doing anything that way. The bye week is a convenient time to self-scout, but Morris said the Falcons will evaluate everything they do each day. Thus, changes wouldn't necessarily come solely during the off week. So in other words, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have to read the whole thing word for word, but to give you that statement alone, that tells you that he's stuck on stubborn and stuck on stupid at this point. And I say stuck on stupid because why? It's like this. Why bang your head into a wall and continue to keep having a headache when you can change some stuff? Get you some aspirin or whatnot, Fix what you need to fix, get your aspirin, get rid of your headache, and move on about your business. Why keep banging your head against the wall? At this point, it's just a bad habit that needs to be kicked. K-Dub, what you think?
Like I say, man, this he's standing 10 toes down. I mean, he's being stubborn. I don't want to go that far like you did, but I understand you're going to go that far. But I just hope he gets his head out of his behind and sees the light, because I don't want to lose this division, and it's going to come crashing down hard. Because one thing Arthur Smith never had the division like this the whole time he was here. So it's going to be even worse for this guy. So I still have some support for you, but my support is waning if you're going to be hard headed as you are. I need you to put the ego to the side and listen to the fan base and the people that know this team even better than you do. Because guess what? You just came back. We study this team day in and day out, even when you were in LA. We know what this team needs. You got to listen to the guys that are around. We are some great football minds. We may not get paid on the NFL level, but we know this team inside and out. We may not know all 32 teams inside and out, but we know these Falcons, and this Falcon need a pass rush. So if you watch this, if you guys that watch the media or watch these podcasts, get to Raheem and let him know. BirdCage said, let's get a pass rush in here.
Outside of the pass rush, here's the other thing. So you got a Falcons legendary, our former MVP quarterback, Matt Ryan, spoke on the quarterback situation with the offensive play. Yeah, the game is, we got the division right now. But as he said before, the one thing that has to change is the play. If you continue to play bad like you've done within the last 2 games and it continues, you might see a quarterback change soon. And the sad part about it is if you have a quarterback change at this point in the season, you've pretty much wasted the money that you've given to Kirk Cousins at this point. And the offensive line is still deficient of being able to protect our quarterback. And the bad part about it is you're going to be protecting Penix's blind side is going to be exposed with McGarry. Now, if you put Storm Norton in there, I would trust it. But if the longer you leave McGarry in there and we're struggling, Charlie Warner is still out, you risk getting your young quarterback hurt at this point. My thing is that's our future quarterback. Kirk's only on the rental. So at this point, my thing is I just need Kirk to get back to what he was doing, stop locking onto these receivers, and start producing. We know what you can do. We've seen what you can do when you have time, when you're comfortable, when you produce. Take a deep breath, get back to what you were doing. Because at this point, I don't want to see the rookie right now. I want him to sit. I want them to fix that offensive line deficiency before he comes in. You're the sacrificial lamb for me. I'm just going to keep it a buck. I want my future quarterback to be healthy physically, and I want him to have that mental confidence that's going to help us win a championship. So, again, at this point, I'm willing to sacrifice Kirk Cousins' old butt.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I concur that. I do concur that. But, I mean, also, we've never seen Kirk Cousins in his career have these type of games where he not put up touchdowns back-to-back. So, if he doesn't seem to shake that off, I'm always for the young bull. I've always been for him. I won't hide that. So, I mean, he did sling that thing when he came in there the other day. I mean, depending on whoever he had blocking for him. And they tried to put him in there with some Rudy Poops. Why they always put my guy in there with Rudy Poops? Let him play with the starters and let him go. See, the key thing is they're trying to hamstring the guy. You know what I'm saying? They don't want him to look good in front of Kirk. But, I mean, I do support Kirk. Kirk on the wall right here to the other side over here. So I support Kirk. But guess what? I do support Penix. I'm team Penix all the way. I wish nothing but the best for the kid. I feel like he's ready to start right now. You got other starters out there. We just had a rookie beat us. So, hey, look, what's to say? Penix can't be out here beating people. We got we made Mr. Dang Bo Nix look like Troy Aikman or John Elway out here Sunday. So hey, what's to say Penix can't go out there and look like Randall Cunningham or something? I don't know. So the key thing
I tell you why. I just told you why, and I'm gonna tell you why again. Like I said last week, that offensive line, his blind side is exposed, where most of that heat comes from, and he would get tattooed would be on his blind side, because guess what? That's the weak side of our line. That's where McGarry is. So it would be unfair. Like, being honest, K-Dub, I'm not saying that he can't start, and I don't think he can't. I think he can play, but it would be totally unfair to sit him in that pocket or put him back there when they can't even protect Cousins, and that's Cousins throwing side on the right side. So when you talk about Penix being turned around, that's a serious problem.
One thing about the difference between the two is Kirk Cousins can't move. So at least Penix got a little bit more mobility. But he's been hurt. He has an injury history, but he can at least have some wheels.
But here's the thing. You're not going to always be able to get away because you got to remember, you got D lineman that's coming in there with 4.3 speed, 4.4 speed coming off that edge. So by the time he tries to take off or whatnot, it's going to be a problem. Hey, Will, we saw you trying to get in, man. I was trying to put you up in here, but your screen isn't right. But I'm back in here. We'll bring you in, but
I know he can't.
We got a visitor.
I know he can't. Oh yeah, well, how you doing, John? Good to see you in the house tonight.
Big John, what's up?
I know he can't evade every single rush, but he has more mobility in that pocket than Kirk Cousins. I'm just saying.
I agree.
I want Kirk to succeed. We paid him all this money. I really do. I want him to succeed.
$180 million that could have went to a damn pass rush.
Yeah,
let's keep this a buck.
Yeah, so
that could have went to a pass rusher.
So now it looked like the critics were right. It was a stupid for us to go get Kirk if it ends up happening like that. We end up looking like some fools. But guess what? It gave the guy a chance to, even if it's 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks, it gave him a chance to learn a little bit about the NFL before he just get thrown out there like Caleb Williams, who's crashing like a pumpkin right now.
And my thing is, if you can't, and I'm going to keep saying it, if you can't protect your quarterback, and especially on his blind side, that left arm is going to be nice. But if you can't protect my man on his blind side or whatnot, I can't trust my offensive coordinator to put him in positions to succeed. And the last thing I want to do is we mess up a great possible first round pick that we took in Michael Penix Jr. because we have deficiencies that are not being addressed at this point. And my thing is, I don't want the kid to get hurt because at the end of the day, he can run, but guess what? Michael Vick ran, and guess what? Eventually, they broke him. Every mobile quarterback has, and it doesn't matter who it is, from Randall to Pat Mahomes to Michael Vick, freaking Donovan McNabb. Every mobile quarterback has gotten hurt. Every mobile quarterback has gotten hurt. Even the legendary Georgia Bulldog, Fran Tarkenton, who played for the Vikings, broken leg and missed the season because of that. So I don't want my guy that's going to be my future quarterback to be a sitting duck because we can't protect his blind side. And as John would say, we need to get somebody with a wheelbarrow in his belly with no ankles and put him on that side to protect my quarterback. So at the end of the day, it's just what it is. So, John, I want to know what you think, because we were talking about Raheem Morris in this press conference he had, as well as speaking on number 2. I won't mention his name because I know how you get with that. Number 2 or whatnot, mentioned if we keep having piss poor quarterback performance, that we could possibly see Penix. And as you heard, we don't want the kid to come in here and they can't even protect the man that's being paid $180 million, and that's his throwing side. So just imagine his blind side. So what do you think, John, and your whole analysis about Raheem and this topic we're talking about right now?
Good evening, gentlemen. First of all, I wanted to say this about Sunday. I'm trying to think whether I said it Sunday, but I'm definitely going to say it tonight. Why on God's green earth did you put Michael Penix in this game Sunday with 9 minutes left in the game?
No, it was 6 minutes.
No, there was 9 minutes left.
John looked at the game.
I thought it was less than that. I was like, man,
no, it was 9 minutes left in the game. Or why did you put Penix in the game, period? I don't care if it was 3 seconds left in the game. Kirk Cousins
no, you said
deserved.
You said this Sunday. You said, go ahead.
No, say it again, John. Please say it again. I know where you're going with it.
But
Kirk Cousins deserved to finish this game. Now if Michael Penix had gotten hurt Sunday, there would have been a problem.
Oh, yeah, he got fired.
From Interstate 70, Interstate 24, all roads from Denver to Atlanta, there would have been a problem. And a problem here also, because why would you expose an offensive line and your quarterback both to getting this man killed? Because look, you think the talk was bad about the loss on top of losing a potential your next year's or next couple of years starting quarterback, your project, man, that would have been too much to bear. That would have been too much to bear. At this juncture, Kirk Cousins as well as Zach Robinson. I took a look at the film again a couple of nights ago. Kirk Cousins had people open all over the field. 5 yards, 10 yards, quick passes, check downs to negate the pass rush. You can negate a pass rush very easily if your offensive line is collapsing. And look, Jake Matthews got run back into the quarterback. So did Caleb McGarry. They went around him like the security guard at West End Mall in the flea market. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Hold up, John. For my out-of-town Falcon fans, if you don't know about the West End Mall, Greenbrier, hey, they done shut down Blackbriar, as we call it now. But if you back in the day, if you know about the malls, man, them security guards ain't jumping to nothing. They actually if you get in the fight, they sitting there watching you fight, placing bets on the fight. I'm sorry, man, I had to bring back that memory.
No. Because, hey, man, I was looking at something on TikTok or something of that nature. They were telling people up in New York, they don't even call the police if you steal less than $900 worth of stuff. So they just let them go. They just let them walk out with it. So it's even worse in other cities. But I'm just using that analogy to let you know just how bad this is. Now, if your offensive line is not able to stop people, and you got a quarterback back there, whether it's Kirk Cousins, whether it's Matt Ryan, whether it's anybody. Matt Ryan got rid of the ball quicker than Kirk Cousins does, because I have counted 3 to 5 seconds that he has to make a decision as to where to throw. That tells me that your wide receivers aren't getting open. Why aren't your wide receivers getting open? You're running too long pass plays. Pass patterns are too long. And this end, he loves the end from the right side to throw to London. You got to mix it up. You got to mix these things up, because you put your defense in bad positions. I've been hearing this every Monday morning on the local station here now, where the people are saying, look, you're putting your defense in harm's way. They have short fields to defend. Their back is up against the wall because the man with the Gatorade cart can't even pass out Gatorade to everybody before they have to go right back to work. Yep. Offense coming on, sitting down. You hadn't done 3 minutes of work. You hadn't done 3 minutes of doggone work, and you back there sitting down there, and the defense is going right back out there. Because you remember the beginning of the year where I think it was you, Ryan, and a couple of other people talking about the defense was going to mutiny because they weren't getting any type of support from the offense, and they were saving the day every week.
That was me, John, because that was that day you came in here, and that was actually after. Matter of fact, it was after the Kansas City game, and I said that, and I said the defense is on the field too long. And when you talk about the defense being on the field too long, those guys are going to burn out. When you talk about guys burning out, mental mistakes happen from them giving up touchdowns. And then they start to catch hell for it. And then not just the mental lapses, injuries happen.
Right. And part of the reason that they're on the field so long is that the opposing offense is doing exactly what I'm saying that our offense needs to do. They are getting rid of the ball so quickly that all of that energy that you're expending trying to get back there to the quarterback, ball gone in 2 seconds. Ball is gone.
They just moving the chains, John.
They just moving the chain, And go ahead, K-Dub. What were you about to say, sir?
I just want to say our main problem on defense, if we could just solve getting off the field on third down. That's it. On third down. Because sometimes we get right there to third down, and then
third and long.
What happened?
Yeah.
Think about it. How many
what
third
happened?
and longs? Think about it. We had I can count about 7 third and longs we had on Sunday. 7.
Mhm.
Now, it's not accurate for every third down, but I can tell you it was 7 of them. We had 7 third and longs, and we couldn't get off the field.
That's what I'm saying.
You know
So apparently we doing something right on first and second down, but with third down, what's going on? Get off the field.
Here's
Well,
the problem. They know we don't. They know here's the thing. They know that we're gonna go into a shell, whether it's a cover 2 shell or whether it's a 3 safety high shell, and we're literally just gonna play underneath. And the thing is, we don't. How can I put it? I'm gonna keep it simple.
And then one of the possessions.
Dewey McClain said it the best at the party earlier this year. Prevent defense prevents you from winning games. And guess what? We prevent ourselves from winning ball games when you have your cornerbacks playing about 5 yards off. Yeah. Think about it. You give up half of a first down every time you line these DBs up. And if you think about it, when we have our DBs playing man on man, we've had a lot of man on man this year, but we've also had a lot of success with getting off the field on third downs when we were playing man on man. But if you ever notice, when we jump into that shell to where we got our DBs playing 5 yards off, guess what? You're giving these dudes a head start to be able to start their route without disrupting the timing. That's what you mainly give them. And John, this is the problem, how we can't get off the field on third down. That's one of the biggest problems.
And then your offense can't stay on the field on third down.
When we're able to run the ball, they go away from it. Like, I don't care. My thing is this: if they can't stop it, this is what you do. And here's my thing. I got to shout out the Georgia offensive coordinator, Mike Bobo. I've been on his. I've literally been on the. I've been on his neck. I've had my foot on his neck since he has been back to Georgia. But if you look at that game that they called Saturday night, think about it. And John, you saw it. Guess what they did? Mm-hmm. They used the tight ends in the middle of the field with shorter routes. Now we know that Kirk Cousins ain't gonna run because Beck. People forget Beck was a dual threat in high school. People forget that. But you look at how they used the tight ends in that game, and the tight ends opened it up for everybody else. Here's my thing: where's Kyle Pitts at? When are we gonna start using him? When are you gonna? Now Charlie Warner's hurt, so I get why we're not using him. But let's be real: you've got to shorten up those routes, as you were saying. You got to give Kirk a chance to use that quick release, because if you notice, when Kirk runs that 2-minute offense, it's flawless, it's masterful. My thing is, why not make that a primary staple of our offense, like the Buffalo Bills did with Jim Kelly? That K-gun offense was one of the hardest to stop. Belichick and what's old boy's name? Butch Jones and Bill Belichick. Butch Jones with the Cowboys before he went to the Hurricanes, and then you had Bill Belichick with the Giants. Those are the only I'm sorry, I can't forget about Richie Pettibone either for the Washington Redskins. Those are the only coordinators. Those are the only 4 coordinators that actually stopped that offense. Think about it. It's only 4 coordinators that stopped them from winning Super Bowls. And they figured out the way that you beat them, beat up their receivers. Let Thurman Thomas be the one. You're going to have to let him run. You're going to have to let him do this. We got a Bijan Robinson, and you go back to my draft day comparison. I compared him to Thurman Thomas. I literally got the graphic of it where Thurman is on one side and he's on the other. I compared him to him because the way that we use Bijan is the same way they used Thurman. They used Thurman back in the day. The difference is Thurman was a better between the tackles runner than Bijan is. That's the difference. So at this point, if you see that the running game is going, you got to let it go.
And why didn't Tyler Algier touch the ball?
Quad injury. He was hurt. That's why. Had a quad injury on Sunday.
Yeah, we limped to the finish line, guys.
Pretty much. John, he got a quad injury right now. He hurt.
Our team was like, oh, bye week.
Because he was in the game, first part of the game. I didn't know he had gotten injured. But
he was hurt before the game started. He had a quad injury anyway. So he was gonna
Okay.
try to gut it out. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at it like this. We need that horse for later in the season. Guess what? If he hurt, throw that young rookie up in there and let Jason McClellan run. He's a third string back, and he can produce. Let him run.
Jason McClellan came in when they brought in Penix, so they did play Jason McClellan in there.
Yeah,
so,
but he should have been playing earlier. He should have been playing earlier in the game to give Bijan a breather.
Yeah, I got you. I see what you're saying. Instead of just risking Tyler, banging up that thigh or the contusion where we had even worse.
Because if he hurt that quad even further, you can kiss the rest of the season with your bruising back goodbye. Let that man sit. At this point, you got a third. You drafted a running back this year, which we really did need to. But guess what? Since you drafted him, use him.
Yeah.
This ain't so common, John.
We draft another running back instead of just a pad rush. I just kept drafting pad rush. I might hit on one.
Exactly. I like Casey Washington, but guess what? You drafted a receiver when you still had Chris Blair on the ride. When you had Chris Blair, and you also got Kadero Hodge. You drafted a receiver instead of bringing in another defensive lineman. It sucks that they put all their eggs into Braylon Trice. But the guy that I wanted was Jared Verse. And you remember I said it because me and you argued on one episode.
Yeah.
And I hate
he's showing out right now. I didn't really like him coming out of college. I was wrong.
No. But here's the difference, though. Jared Verse also has a defensive tackle that's also taking a lot of stuff off of him with that boy Braden Fisk, his teammate that was out of Florida State.
Yeah.
Will, what's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Wait a minute. Before you even get started, I got a bone to pick with you. I told you I ain't forgetting what the hell you said earlier in the chat. I'm about to get on your ass right now. Pause. Now I'm gonna say I said pause on that one. So you talked about Justin Simmons or whatnot. You called him washed up. Here's the thing: Simmons is a 4-time Pro Bowler. This guy's not washed. He came in at the beginning of the season. Literally at the beginning of the season, right before the season started. So he had no time in training camp like that. He had no time to truly learn that playbook and really get comfortable with this defense. So you can't put that now. Some of the stuff that he's done, he shouldn't be doing as a vet. I get, but the man still is learning that playbook. That playbook's about that thick. And think about this. Now you put this comment in the chat. You say you understand it, but if he's playing safety, the ball coming his way. Here's the thing. But here's the thing. The man got over 30 picks in his career. So apparently he know how to play the ball. The problem is your defensive coordinator is not setting up the fact that these safeties, he doesn't understand how to use these safeties that are in the secondary. So what I'm saying is if you gonna call him out, make sure that you call him out or whatnot and have everything mapped out because we have no pass rush to help deter some stuff. And here's the thing. It's only so much running around you can do. They don't even put him down in the box where he could actually help the linebackers out and you let Jesse Bates do the roaming. That's something that's real simple. Bates made his name last year for the Falcons by being able to go from sideline to sideline. They are killing this secondary right now, which is the strength of this defense. Period. Justin Simmons does the things that doesn't show up on the stat sheets. So that's why I'm coming at you like that. So it's not personal. It's the fact that it's a safety spot. That's the last line of defense, and they don't put him in a position to use his skill set, bro.
But it's kind of crazy because you said that because Raheem Morris understand that this is second year turn around, but I'm like. I understand you want us to run a 3-4, but this don't fit the scheme because we don't have no Von Miller, we don't have Leonard Floyd, we don't have them type of athlete defenders like that. So what I'm saying is Raheem, I feel like JC Bates and Justin Simmons need to tell him like, hey, I understand you want to run this 3-4 defense, but this doesn't fit the right personnel. We need to have our linebackers to play downhill. They're not covered. They're not covered because when we had Ryan Nelson, we were playing more man and more press blitz, corner blitz. He was in all type of things. He was running out 4-3. He was running out 4-3 hybrid and playing a little bit 3-4. He let all the safeties run around in the corners and he said, "Gonna have corners attacking linebackers, defensive line." We not doing that. So I need us to really run a 4-3 and Raheem Morris. Cause like I'm just saying, when he came out,
But here's the
that was
thing:
really the third
Here's the
defense.
thing: we run
That
a
was
lot
really
of
the third. That
packages
was
out of
really
the
the defense.
4-3 defense, bro. This year, we run a lot of packages out of it. The problem with what we're doing out of that is the fact that we're not mixing up the blitzes. We're not bringing exotic packages. That is not what Jimmy Lake is doing. That is not what Raheem Morris has been approving. Because if you look at it, we were running corner blitzes. We were running what we call them cat blitzes. You're running cat blitzes or whatnot from your corner. You're running safety blitzes from your safeties where they're stepping down into the gaps and shooting and going. But we're not doing that because, again, you have a stubborn defensive coordinator and you have a head coach that his ego is up here and he doesn't want anybody to tell him anything. And that's the problem. For somebody that was a defensive guru, it's really showing that you don't know much because you inherited a defense that was already well put together. Both of the defenses that he coached on, from that Buccaneers defense that he coached on staff, that was a Tony Dungy defense. That Rams defense he coached on, Wade Phillips built that defense. And we had Wade Phillips in Atlanta at one point. So again, when you talk about Raheem, he's pretty much the Ryan Day of the NFL. He's born on second base going into situations or whatnot. Just being honest, he's the Ryan Day.
But I'm gonna be back on, fellas. You know, I stopped by Buffalo Wild Wings, get my food, watch the Pittsburgh Steelers game, the 0-0 game. But you know, like I'm saying, I'm gonna be back on here. We're gonna talk more about the defense, but like John said, Deacon John, about Kirk Cousins, man, we don't have time to be playing around, man, because Tampa is one. I understand we over them, but they getting healthy. They have an easy schedule to us. I'm just feeling like we got to win 5 games. We got to win 5. Not changes gonna come. So I got to see it to believe it. For me.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you right now, we're gonna probably either go 3-2 or 2-3. Just gonna keep it a buck with you, because Minnesota's not gonna be an easy game. Washington is not gonna be an easy game, and I can tell you right now, the Chargers is not gonna be an easy game. Hell, even I'm gonna be honest with you. Hell, even the Giants might give us a fight. Let's be real on that. They got a defense. Their offense is just inconsistent. They got a defense in New York. So
they don't have running backs and tight end wide receivers.
Yeah. So again, it's three games that like I said, those games that I just named, LA, Washington, and Minnesota, those are 3 games that that are gonna be tough.
Yeah, it'll be tough games over that. But like I said, we really should got Brian Murphy third out of Texas, man. That's who I really wanted. I was so mad we got Michael Penix, but it is what it is. I'm gonna be back though, brother. I'll be back in the back.
All right. Well, we actually could have got Murphy in the second round, really. But I get what his frustration is, though.
Well, see, this is the thing. There have been some really unrealistic expectations that have been placed on this team because of the fact that, me, myself, and I'm just going to speak for me now, first year head coaches, coordinators, and systems, I give them the first year to get the bugs worked out, to get things done, to I guess, solidify a foundation. But there have been moments where things have been dangled in front of us to make us think that we could do better than a first-year coach in comparison to other first-year coaches, systems, and players. Because of that, what we've been going through especially the last 2 games, because we started out flat last week as well as the week before. We started out flat. Simple little penalties, holding penalties. And, the offensive lineman's mantra said, don't let him get back to the quarterback, even if you do have to hold him. But, a simple not knowing where you are by London cost a possible touchdown. The holding, Bijan was down at the 1. The potential touchdown, London was at the 1, was able to go into the end zone because you started upfield too quick. That attention to detail, I've always caught a lot of heat about it, and those of you who know me, I don't care nothing about heat. I am a heat sink. All right, bring it. But you practice how you play. You practice how you play. We used to let people just get away. Oh, we'll do it better the next time. Don't worry about it. It'll be okay. No, sir. I used to be up there in Flowery Branch as well as Suwannee. When they messed up, those coaches up there, hey, we're going to keep running this play until you get it right. Now, we can get it right in the morning, or we can come back out here at 4 o'clock and run it in the hot sun and get it right. But we're going to get this right before you all take off for the rest of the day. That is my impression, is that that's not being driven in. That's not being driven in from the coordinators. That's not being driven in from the position coaches. That's not being driven in by the players themselves. Hey, man, self-accountability between players on these units. Look, man, y'all got to get this right. This is the NFL. Like Jerry Glanville says, that means not for long. You won't be here long. You keep on doing this. And that hard coaching, like I played that excerpt of Keith Armstrong on Hard Knocks back there in 2013, 2014. Look, you got to hang foot in rear end and get people on the page that they're supposed to be on, offensively and defensively. Because, okay, you remember, well, prior to the New Orleans game. No. I'll say the New Orleans game. This defense would make adjustments that would make your head spin, because the first half might look like a mess. Second half, they don't score. Second half, they don't do anything. Okay, so what is it about your first half that puts you in a position that your second half has to save the entire game? Those are the things that us fans are sitting up here looking at, wondering or whatever. And, it sometimes just doesn't make any sense. Sometimes it's just maddening, frustrating. It just doesn't make any sense for you to dig yourself a hole. Hell, you worse than the damn Hawks. You go down 30 damn points and then spend the rest of the doggone game trying to dig yourself out of a hole. Then once you do it, you're too tired to win the game because you spent all of your energy digging out of the hole.
Well, let's go ahead and get to the final thoughts of this bye week or whatnot.
Yeah, man. No,
we get ready to get to these final thoughts, because we can't sit back and keep having all our blood pressure run up and be upset, because it still sucks that we got to sit for a week and we got to think about it. But you know what? Yeah. It's good that we got to sit for a week and think about it. Maybe Raheem Morris can understand that. Yeah, you just had Sean Payton hang his foot off in your rear end, literally. Yeah. And he did it smiling on the sideline with a rookie quarterback. So, but you got to give Denver their props, because they have a hell of a defense. It's just what it is. That is no joke. When you saw them, they should have beat Kansas City last week. And if you look at it, they was pissed about losing to Kansas City. They rival. So think about this. They got hosed out of that Kansas City game. They took it out on us the next week. So again, when you look at the Falcons right now, I'm just, as much as I hate to say it, we're pretty much a springboard for everybody's season. Anytime you want to get right, play the Falcons. I hate to say it, but we've seen it twice already. Saw it with the Saints, and we just saw it with these boys here. Because think about it, the Saints were dead in the water. And they beat us, and then they beat Cleveland the week afterwards. And now they're starting to win games at this point. So again, as I say before, what adjustments would you like to see? We got to keep this part short, because we're gonna wrap this thing up. I'm gonna ask K-Dub, John, and I'm gonna wrap it up. So final thoughts with the adjustments. What do you think you need to see for this week, coming out of this bye week, going into the Los Angeles game?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but I want to see Raheem take over the defense. I want to see you guys use everybody in the stable, stop having guys inactive, If they can play, man, put these guys out there. You never know what these guys are gonna do, man, because what you're doing right now is not working. I want to see more enthusiasm on this sideline. Let's get these guys fired up and ready here to go, man. Stop missing so many tackles. We got to bring in a professional tackler like Kirby did. I mean, take a page out of his book and do something different, man. Do something what you're not doing. And like I said, stop all the skinning and grinning, man. Like I say, let's go ahead and get serious and buckle down, and let's go on this playoff run. That's what I want to see. I'm gonna leave it alone.
John,
an all-out fast break offense. Short, quick passes, bomb them over the top, run at them, just line up. Let's go. Line up. Let's go. All this, biscuit making and staring and all that. Stop it. Let's go. Take the ball, scan the field, don't lock. Bam, bam, bam,
yeah,
bam. That's what we need. That's all we need. You get off the field, you put your defense there, and your defense will be more conducive to playing defense if they have some points to defend. Put some points on the board. These people coming off the field, they need points to defend. Okay? Don't be sitting up there having them trying to save the game. Have them defend some points that you put on the board. That's your job.
Well, I'm gonna say this here. I look at it like this, man. We're in a position to where we have to play like every game is our last. You got to play like that for the rest of the season. Every game is your last. You got to be in urgent mode, because when you talk about this, it's just one of those things. And we're getting ready to wrap up. So if you missed out or whatnot, I apologize, but we're getting ready to wrap up. So we're pretty much shutting it down after me. I think the thing is, because we had somebody pop up in the back. But I'll say this. You got to get your defense to play on point coming out. You got to stop playing this prevent defense. You got to figure out what's going to be your next move and how you can use the talent that you have, the little bit of talent that you have on this defense, and you got to marginalize it. You literally have to marginalize this and make this thing rise up like a biscuit, period. At this point, offensively, you've got to figure out what you're going to do with your offensive line at this point, period. You've got to figure out what you're going to do with your offensive line. Right now, all you need is 4 wins to have 10 games. But with the way that we have the last few games of this season, we got 5 more games left. I see us going 3. I see us either going 3-2 or 2-3. I hate to say it that way, but it's just what it is. Until y'all prove me wrong. If you beat the Chargers coming out, that is a good sign, because that means you have a chance to have 3 guaranteed possible wins with the Panthers and the Giants. But if you lose to the Chargers, I can tell you right now, you're not winning in Minnesota. Now, if you do, I'll say I was wrong. I believe we can beat them. But if we play like we've been playing the past couple of weeks, we ain't winning. We got a better on-the-road record than we do at home, period. So guess what? In Minneapolis, you got to win. That Monday night game against the Raiders, you got to win.
Got to win.
Because you're getting ready to have a pissed-off Desmond Ridder trying to play against us. Because here's the thing. He's inconsistent. But we know what happens if he get a little bit of time on his hands. He can deliver a 300-yard game.
No.
So at the end of the day, we've just got to make adjustments to make our defense make plays, and our offense has to give our defense a breather in games. As John said, you got to be able to run the football, and you've got to be able to put up points. And special teams, y'all can't give up big field position like y'all did last week too. That's something else we didn't touch on. I'm not going to get too heavy into that, but that's got to change. So if we can fix these few things, we could possibly limp into the playoffs. I ain't say gut into the playoffs, and now if they come out blazing, guns on fire, I'll be happy. But right now, the way we're looking with injuries and everything, I see us limping into the playoffs or screwing up and giving up the division and playing on the road. Because either way, we already own the division. We own the division. All we got to do is beat Carolina. We got a guaranteed home game, even with a crappy record. But I don't want to go into the playoffs with a crappy record. I at least want 10 or more wins, just to be honest.
Of course.
So
that's what we all want.
So again, we don't have a show on Sunday. We don't have any shows on Sunday or whatnot. We taking that day off, just like
enjoy your Sunday.
Enjoy your Sunday without your blood pressure being raised up. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy your families. Get ready for the holidays because it's definitely gonna be something serious. But hey, we're gonna catch y'all next week, next Thursday evening and whatnot. 8 p.m. You know how we get down. You either get right or you get left. Big John, tell them where they can find you at, buddy.
I'm at the eye test. Me and my partner, Winston Thornton, we run this thing every Wednesday night at 10 o'clock. Shoot, we had about a 4-hour show arguing about stuff. So if you're an insomniac and you feel like you want to get up and want to talk about football, basketball, baseball, whatever it is, tune in. We'll be there.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for jumping on tonight for a little bit. Will, thank you for coming through as well. K-Dub, you held it down as we always do, brother. So we definitely appreciate it. Shout out to the magnificent BirdCage crew. Everybody's been working hard this year behind the scenes that people don't get to see. We definitely appreciate you guys and your hard work. So much deserved rest, but it just sucks that we all got to be pissed off during the bye week. But hey, it is what it is. Maybe the Falcons can take that piss and vinegar in their veins and that anger and take it out on the Chargers coming up. So, hey, as we said before, you either get right or you get left. We'll see y'all next week. We out. Ghosts.